And as you guys know me, I'm a coach more about mindset, but you're a coach as well.
Yes.
And this is so awesome because I'm following you and I'm looking at you and I'm like, damn girl, how are you so busy all the time?
Yes.
Like you're crushing it or
Yeah.
smashing it. It's amazing.
Yes, super busy. Yes, a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. And you're a vegan transformational coach. At first, you were more like fitness and food, right?
Yeah, exactly. I called myself health coach, but I just realized when it comes to like changing your health overall, you should be looking at all aspects. Not only I'm gonna give you a meal plan and I'm gonna give you a training plan and have fun, but it's like, you know, the menstrual cycle and what's going on in your mind and are you like stressed and all of those kind of things. So it's just really like this overall approach of like really trying to cover all of it, right? So it's that's why I changed my title. I was like, okay, this doesn't feel right anymore because health is just very like it's very linear and I'm not that kind of coach anymore.
So you don't only want to go on like the results of like you're gonna lose weight and you're gonna change your diet. You actually want to like change your life, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I have clients now as well. They're like, I'm not here to lose weight. I'm here to really learn about my body, learn what works best for me, learn how I can elevate my life with a vegan diet, you know, and learn to work with my menstrual cycle. And it's just been really beautiful because they're like, this is their number one focus. And they're seeing so many different results, not in only losing weight, but just like their energy, they mood improves, right? They're like everything, mental health, and it's just been amazing.
That's so good. I'm such a fan of like taking everything into consideration, not
it's
only
important.
one part, but it's like body and mind. It's like everything together because without a healthy body, you're not going to have a healthy mind and vice versa. So I'm really happy for you that you found that out. And also life is a process, right?
Yeah.
So it's really nice that you changed there.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that like stood out to me the most and why I decided to do what I'm doing is because, and you notice, prior before I started my own like coaching program, I worked for someone else as an assistant coach, and I worked with, you know, women, a lot of women from all around the world, and I started realizing that these women that I was working with, they need a different approach when it comes to coaching. It's not only about I will give you your meal plan and I'm going to give you a training plan, but it's really about like, okay, you have a menstrual cycle. When you have a menstrual cycle, your life changes a lot in a month, right? Our hormones change, our brain change, our strength changes, a lot of things are happening, and so it's very important to work with that, and it's very important to include that when you want to elevate your health and transform your health. And this has been a game changer for me because I felt so disconnected when I worked for the other person, because I wanted to coach women in a good and sustainable way, and I'd always push them because I experienced my own like burnout because I used to push myself. I had a male coach and he didn't understand that what I was going through was far beyond just you know, that I'm lazy or that I don't have the energy, but it was really like my hormones were out of place, and this is so important.
I remember that time you were telling me about it, where you didn't feel.
I think I even came to your place with Yodi and stuff, and I told you guys, I was like, I feel horrible, like
crazy. So what was the process behind it? Like, how did you find out that the menstrual cycle is actually really much affecting also your training style?
I think it was by accident. I was doing a lot of research, and then I was following this one girl on YouTube, and she talked about like, you know, the menstrual cycle, and I was like, holy shit, like this is second nature, we should all know this. And I didn't know that we had 4 phases in the menstrual cycle. A lot of women don't know, and I work with women that are 40 or 50 plus and they don't know these things, which is scary because I believe all women should know this. Everyone should know this. And so when I looked into that more and I started buying books and I started reading about it, I was like, oh my God, this is a game changer. And the more I like started living that way, the more I saw my body balancing out, because I would be like, I would have extreme fatigue all of the time. Like from the outside, my body looked healthy because, you know, I have clear skin, you know, I'm fit, I do work out a lot, but I never listened to what my body really needed.
Okay.
And so
even when you were feeling down, you were like, let's go to the
yes,
gym and push.
Exactly. Exactly. And so, for example, we have 4 phases, as I mentioned, in the menstrual cycle. You have the follicular, the ovulatory, the luteal, and the menstrual phase. Now, a lot of women, during the luteal phase, this is the phase prior to you getting your period, you should be taking it easier, especially when your hormones are out of balance. And most women's hormones are out of balance. Not a lot of women are lucky enough to really have a good balanced, hormone, profile. And now, so if you already have a disbalance and you continue pushing yourself during those phases more and more and more, you're going to make it worse, and eventually your periods are going to be very heavy, you're going to have cramps, you're going to experience PMS, you're going to experience extreme fatigue. And I saw this with myself. I remember always being prior to my period and lying in bed in the morning and at 6 a.m. and this is the time where I try to create a routine and be like, I'm going to work out. And I remember I felt so freaking tired and I still pushed myself and it would just down spiral, like it would just make it worse. And every time I got my period, it was worse again because I never allowed myself to rest and I never listened to my body. And now my approach is completely different. Now I'm like, okay, when I'm on my period, and I am right now, just in case you want to know, I like take it very easy, right? I don't work out. I only go for walks.
Okay.
Because I know that for my body, I shouldn't be doing it because my hormones are still not completely in balance. So what I want to do is really honor all of these cycles. Now, once my period stops, I'm moving into the follicular phase. And this is an awesome phase to like crush the gym, crush your workouts, have some heavy strength training. This is absolutely amazing. It's so much fun, right? Ovulatory phase, same thing. You still have a lot of energy, so HIIT workouts, running, cardio, all of that stuff is awesome.
You just feel amazing.
Yes.
And it's the best time to go on dates and stuff because
Exactly.
you're like, I am awesome.
Yes, because of course how it works is like during the ovulatory phase, you are like, you are attracted to people because you can get pregnant if you have sex. Let's say like this, right? So it can happen like this. And so you have to be attractive to people that you're around. And that's why we have a lot more like energy. We are like feeling, more confident. You are more outgoing. But once you move into the luteal phase, you can take it a little slower. And so in my case, like I still work out for like the first half of it. I still go to the gym, do my gym workouts. But I know that 1 week prior to getting my period, I really try to take it slow.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I listen to my body. I don't go at 6 a.m. to the workouts anymore. What I do then, because I can do that in the middle of the day, I do like a little Pilates workout, some yoga, or I go for walks. I have a treadmill at home, so I can walk and work. So I do that more to get my movement still going, but I really slow down. And I really honor my body. And this has been a game changer for me, really. Nice. I see a comment there. I'm in such imbalance. I take birth control pills for my period, and when I forget them, my periods come back. So birth control, really, like when you take birth control, you do not have a menstrual cycle. So there is no way for you to have a hormonal disbalance because you're not ovulating, right? And so when you don't ovulate, you're not producing estrogen and progesterone, which are your 2 main sex hormones that you should be producing. So in your case, of course, if you stop taking birth control, then you will ovulate and then you will get your period. So this is completely normal. But I did get off birth control 4 years ago now, I think, and that has been
fucks up your
or
cycle,
5
right?
years ago. Yeah, it did fuck up everything about the way I lived and my hormones and everything. It took me a long time to recover from it. So if you don't need to take it, then don't. That's my advice.
Yeah, same. I'm so happy that I never was on birth control because I never had to really. And then I never did it because I heard so many stories from people who got like bad mood swings, and also when you get off just for years, your whole cycle is just messed up. So that's not nice.
Yeah, I mean, what happened to me is that my skin was completely like full of acne. I don't know.
After
I stopped. I don't know if you ever saw the pictures, but
I think I did. Yeah.
I was like full of acne because I started taking birth control because of my skin, and so I had a complete hormonal disbalance once I stopped taking it, right? So this is also another thing that, of course, not always works, but it's really like something's internally off and you have to work on, okay, what's going on here, right? And of course you have acne that basically shows you it's a hormonal disbalance, and then you have other types of acne. So it's very important to see, okay, what is it? For me, it was the hormonal disbalance because it came immediately after I stopped taking birth control. So kind of explains it.
You also said that when you don't look at your phases and stuff like that, and you work out a lot, like prior to getting your menstruation, and then you can get like heavier periods and you can get cramps and stuff like that. Is that kind of like always true, or what is affecting that? Like, what's the reason behind that?
So basically, it's not only just the week before, it's the months before what you do, because our follicles, they take up 100 days to develop. So if you look at it, our follicles are what basically hold the egg, right? And what, if you get pregnant, it's like what develops every single month. So it takes 100 days to develop. So everything that you do prior to that is really already affecting you in 100 days and beyond. So that's why sometimes when your period is heavy now, you have to ask yourself, what did I do 3 months ago, 4 months ago? And a lot of times it's because of stress. A lot of women, especially in today's society, our cortisol levels are through the roof. And so if our cortisol levels are through the roof, what happens a lot of times is our body cannot, so we also create estrogen, right, during the follicular phase. And so when our cortisol levels are through the roof, our body cannot break it down efficiently anymore. And so what happens is that our estrogen levels is also much higher than it should be. And so we don't have a good balance. And so your progesterone is also going to be lower in the luteal phase. And then what happens is that, you know, you get those heavy cramps, you get heavy periods, and those things are not normal. So if you really experience like super heavy cramps, super heavy periods, you should be looking at, okay, something's off. Now, a lot of times, of course, it can be also PCOS or endometriosis. I do have a friend though that healed herself from it. Every doctor is going to tell you that you cannot, but you can. You can, with the right approach, with de-stressing your body.
The right nutrition as well.
Exactly, the right nutrition, syncing with your body, so the right workouts, everything.
Yeah, she got told not to do high intensity anymore at all, and she stopped, and now she's got like normal periods again. And like no
That's
pain
crazy,
and
right?
stuff like that.
Yeah.
She also worked with a coach, like a really hormonal coach and stuff like that. So I was like so surprised that she told me, and I was like, wow, this is amazing actually.
Yeah, it is. It is, and it is really possible to heal yourself from it. And a lot of doctors are going to tell you, oh, you should be taking birth control because it will help you with it. But it will just, like, it's putting a plaster on an open wound. Like, it might stop the bleeding, but like you're not blister. I said blister. Like, you don't actually look at the root cause. Okay, what is, you know, going on? We have a comment here. My period was extremely crazy, lasts for months. It comes for 2 days, then it's gone, and then it appears again after 2 weeks or so. I don't know what is happening because I used to have normal and regular periods. In that case, I would ask myself, like, are you currently tracking your periods? Like, do you actually know when you're ovulating? Because when you can predict when you ovulate, you know if it's actually a period or if it's just bleeds through bleeding. Because 2 weeks does not sound like it's okay. So it might just be that you're bleeding around ovulation as well. And this happens with a lot of women that have high amounts of estrogen in their body. So definitely the way you can track your period is by tracking your temperature in the morning. And there are several apps out there that you can do that, and you just need a basal body thermometer. And all you do is the first thing in the morning, and I think you do that too, is you track your temperature in the morning, and this will allow you to see and to really understand which phase of the cycle you're in, right? And so usually what happens is that women that are under stress, their ovulation can be happening at a later stage or cannot happen at all. And this is everything you can see through measuring your temperature. So for example, let's say you have stress, your follicular phase is going to be longer, but once you ovulate, you will see that drop, and then it rises again because your temperature increases. And then usually you can predict when you're going to get your period, because the luteal phase does have the same length with every woman. So it's usually around 12 to 16 days. So you can already predict when you know that you ovulated, when your period is going to come. And it's amazing because it's like, it has been a game changer for me, because I just, every time I know, okay, I'm going to be ovulating now, and I feel it, I see it, and I can already tell you that in 2 weeks I'm going to get my period, right? So it's
So
it sounds,
interesting.
yeah.
But I need to show you my cycle, like my temperature thing, because for me it's kind of not working.
Okay.
Because I have like a little thingy that tells me if I'm like fertile.
Is it Daisy?
It's Daisy,
Okay.
yeah, if I'm fertile or not. And it always gives me I'm fertile, like even if I know I'm not fertile.
Okay,
It just
you have
gives
to
me
show
like
me.
red phases. Yeah, I've got it on my phone, I'm gonna show you later.
Show
But
me
I'm
later.
like, why?
Yeah.
This is so frustrating. And my cycle is like really regular.
Yeah.
It's not that it's like one time, it's like 18 days and it's like 25 or whatever. But it's like kind of always the same. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I have to look at that because it's strange. Maybe
it's really
something's up with
strange.
the app.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, or I'm just weird.
No, you're not weird. Usually, like, there are patterns that you can see, and it's actually should be simpler to look at it. So I'm curious to see that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah. One more thing also related to me, so maybe you can answer that as well. For me, it hasn't been like that now, but like a year ago or something, I had the craziest cramps on the first day of my period when I was in Berlin. So I could not get up. Sometimes I even had to vomit. It was like really, really bad.
When was it?
I don't know, like a year ago or something. But then when I went traveling, went to Bali or went to somewhere else, I did not have anything at all. So
what do you think that is?
Well, you already told me, it's probably stress, and probably also feeling stressed by just the city, right?
Yes, I mean, if you're constantly surrounded by the same things, you're unhappy with what you're doing, or if you're unhappy with like the place that you're at, it will show on your body, right? And you were breathing different air, you were seeing new things, you didn't even think about the things that were bothering you every single day at home. And so a lot of people think that they're not stressed, but they're not understanding that underlying causes are stressing them. Like, to me, if you ask me if I'm stressed, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
But my boyfriend's gonna say, oh hell yeah, she's stressed all the time. And I don't even know it myself. But you have to just like, there's this thing called Dutch test, which can, I haven't done it yet, but I will. Which basically, you will see how your hormones are in balance in your body, and also how your cortisol is. And so with this, you can actually know, okay, when is my cortisol high, when is it low, and how should it look like, and it always gives you the same ranges. So in your case, I really believe it was probably due to like stress and like subconscious. I mean, you work with it, but a lot of times we are not even aware of it. And so I had a case as well, like when I'm stressed, I get tummy aches, right? And I remember the first time that I had really bad stomach cramps, I couldn't figure out what it was. I went to multiple doctors, and that was like, I think like 6 years ago or something. I had a lot of stress in my personal life with my parents and family and stuff. And with like, I was doing my Abitur, my high school degree. And I had heavy cramps all of the time, and I went to multiple doctors and they could not find anything. Until one doctor asked me, are you currently stressed? And I said, yeah. And since then I realized, I don't even realize I'm stressed, but it shows immediately on my stomach. And that's crazy.
That's really crazy.
So I
stress
think this was the case for you.
Big one, probably. So I think we got a couple of
this is already
that one. After 12 years taking hormones, I had to stop taking the pill, by the way, of exception. And now my hormone balance is disturbed. Yeah, that's what we were talking about before.
That's what happens a lot of times, and that's why you should be really working with your body and understanding, okay, what is it that my body needs, and really taking it slow, because a lot of women think, oh, they can just push themselves all of the time, but it's really important to honor yourself and to eat the right foods as well, because even during the menstrual cycle, you can honor your body with eating the right foods during a specific phase of the cycle. So I have a couple of posts about that as well on my channel, like my account, if you want to check that out. It's like just which phase are you in and which foods you should be eating to support yourself. It's a game changer. It is a game changer.
Okay, nice.
And it's so simple. It's like you don't have to overcomplicate it. It's just about adjusting a couple of things here and there, right? Now, my next question to you would be if you're a vegan, just because, of course, I would rather say like plant-based mainly, because vegan, you can still eat a lot of inflammatory foods, but inflammation is one of the like main causes that our body reacts in certain ways, and we get cramps and we get those things. So definitely pay attention to your nutrition. So like sugary things, processed foods, I would cut out and really try to stay more whole food, plant-based, and include more of those kind of foods, just because you will like reduce your inflammation, and alcohol as well. It's very inflammatory, so try to reduce those kind of things, definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely something. There's also another question, I don't know if you can answer that, with like if the hormones are out of balance, do you produce more, I would say
estrogen.
Estrogen. How can I fix that?
So that you mean, I have to read it again.
Yeah.
The thing is, of course, they can be. It's very hard to just say from a message. It would need to, like, I would need to ask you a couple of questions. But this is what I already was saying. How you can fix that is by really tracking your cycle. So understanding are you actually ovulating, right? And you can do this by measuring your temperature and also looking at other symptoms. So a lot of women experience breast tenderness, or their mucus changes to like this kind of egg consistency, and it's this kind of egg consistency because of course if sperm enters, like you're more likely to for it to live longer. So you have to see, okay, what is happening in my body, and these are a couple of signs that give you the clue that you're ovulating. Now if you're not ovulating, then I'll definitely go see a doctor and see, okay, maybe I have PCOS or endometriosis, something's really off, right? But the best way to fix it is by really just syncing with your body. So once you understand, okay, I'm ovulating, I know which phase I'm in, really like learn, okay, what workouts should I be doing? Should I push myself now? Non-workouts are also not an answer, right? So going for walks is important. Movement is very important. Sleeping is important. Yes, sleep is so important. Coffee, I would cut out. Coffee is one of the worst endocrine disruptors, and it's going to really stress your body, especially if your cortisol is already high. Coffee is going to make it even worse.
And decaffeinated coffee?
It's worse because it also has chemicals. So, I mean, how do you take out caffeine out of decaf? It has to be processed in some kind of way. It's a chemical process. So I would not suggest it. Like if once in a while it's not gonna hurt you, but I wouldn't drink it like on a daily basis, right? So I would try to find other alternatives. Like there's like those grain kind of coffee thingies that have a little bit of, you know,
there's also coffee made out of like different substances that doesn't, like it's not coffee, but it kind of like tastes like coffee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you have like whole grains, it can be,
exactly.
I don't know,
Lupine.
spelled coffee you have, for example. And it's great because it's healthier as well. It's a whole grain and it has this coffee consistency. You can add a little bit of milk in it, you know. Coffee addicted. Oh, there we go. Maybe, you know, maybe that's something that I'll definitely look at and try to reduce the coffee intake, just to make sure that, you know, you're honoring your body and you're not hurting your endocrine disruptor, or you're not disrupting your endocrines. That's super important. So pay a little bit more attention to that and maybe reduce the intake.
Awesome. Yeah, I have another question. So I get the question so often if I lost my period and stuff like that, because I work out a lot. I am kind of active, you know, I set up my business and stuff like that, so a lot of people experience period loss. And then also, would you suggest me, because I don't pay a lot of attention to like what phase I'm in, what workouts I'm doing, I just basically do what I feel like doing. Even like sometimes it's lifting heavy weights on the second day of my period when I feel like it. Would you still suggest me to like pay more attention to it? Because I'm fine like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't experience any weird stuff happening with my body.
You are in a good hormonal balance. So I wouldn't change anything about that. Now, when you come from a background like me, I have to be very careful. But because you honor what your body wants and what you crave, and like you have the energy, you don't feel like you have to push yourself to go and do heavy strength training on the second day of your period, right? It doesn't feel like it's hard for you.
Yeah.
That's important. So in your case, I wouldn't change it as long as you don't have, you know, heavy cramps, periods, you don't have PMS symptoms. I don't know if around ovulation you feel anything. So to me, and this is how I know you already, your body is very balanced. And also because you do work a lot on your stress. this is the first thing that I see in you, is like you do work a lot on your stress management, and that's why you're so imbalanced. And you do all of the things because you love them.
Yeah.
This is the difference.
I think that's the difference.
That is the difference, because a lot of people, they force themselves to do things that they hate, and that elevates their stress levels even more. So you did not lose your period, you are completely healthy. Maybe we can just work on, okay, which phase are you in, for you to understand.
Yeah.
But other than
I
that,
sometimes, like, I kind of know. I know when
Yeah.
I'm ovulating and stuff like that,
Yeah.
also for my information and stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah.
that's important to know, of course.
Important to know.
Matcha tea would be better. It can be better, yes, because what it does, it doesn't do like what coffee does. It kind of increases and dips that caffeine intake, but matcha level has like this steady thing, right? So it's kind of like, it works like sugar, so it doesn't do this spike and drop. Matcha tea has this. So if you feel like you want to drink matcha, definitely like do that, but then I wouldn't go for more than one a day. And I would never drink coffee on an empty stomach. Never, never, never. Eat something.
That hurts so much.
Yes, it hurts. It really is not good. It's so acidic. And it's also important, if you struggle with any nutrient deficiencies like iron, do not drink coffee with your meals. Super important, because coffee reduces the absorption of certain nutrients, and many more nutrients than just iron. So definitely try to reduce it or completely eliminate it.
Yeah, wow, I love this talk so much.
Yes, same. I can talk about this forever. I love this.
I know. Okay, maybe we'll do one last question, and then we call it a day, because it's been like a half an hour, I think. So you say you're not only like a health coach, but also a mental coach. What is the connection there, and what do you work with your clients about that?
Yeah, so basically when a client comes to me, of course, I look at first, okay, what is going on when you're with your food intake? Because a lot of people come to me, they're like, okay, I did struggle with an eating disorder, or there's still some kind of history of it and some kind of pattern to it. So basically I try to really understand, okay, where is this coming from? Like, why do you feel restricted, or why do you have to binge, or all of these kind of things? So it's a lot of mental work, right? So when someone comes to me and they say, oh, you know, I did struggle with that, I'm like, okay, we really want to tackle that, because I do see a lot of patterns. Like, if you do binge in the evenings, it's because you haven't had enough food throughout the day. So all of a sudden, when I give them a meal plan and they have their planned meals and they eat enough throughout the day, they don't have the urge to binge anymore, because they get all of the nutrients they need, they get all of the macros they need. So all of a sudden their mind changes as well. They have more energy, they feel more positive, because they have a plan and they don't feel overwhelmed anymore with what is the right thing to do. Now, when emotional eating still is a part of it, see, it's connected again, because emotional eating a lot of times happens in the luteal phase. So figure out, okay, is it emotional eating? Is it actual hunger? Because also during the luteal phase, we burn more calories because our temperature increases. So if you burn more calories, it's okay to eat a little bit more.
But it's only
well.
like 100 calories, right?
100 to 200.
Yeah.
So usually, like, it's not a lot, but it can be a lot when you have a meal plan and you cannot have those 100 calories. But in this case, I always say, okay, eat more, honor your hunger. But then ask yourself, is it hunger or is it emotional hunger? Now, when it comes to emotional hunger, really dive deep. Take out a journal and write down what's going on. Don't suppress your feelings again with food. Be present with what is going on right now. What are you feeling? Just like what you do is like, don't suppress it, because a lot of people suppress their emotions with food, with alcohol,
just gets bigger.
with drugs, with all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. So you need to honor what's going on right now and journal it out. Right? So see, this is very holistic, because I don't only look, okay, you crave this, or you crave something, it's fine, do this, but it's like, okay, which phase of the cycle are you in? So as an example, if you crave chocolate during the luteal phase, you're probably low on magnesium, because chocolate is full of magnesium. So a lot of girls that I work with, they start taking magnesium supplements, and it's an awesome one for hormonal balance. So also for you girls listening that do struggle with a hormonal disbalance, taking a magnesium supplement can really help with balancing that out. It's not going to be like this, but it really helps also with cravings. And so I've seen this as well in women. All of a sudden they tell me they don't crave stuff anymore. Also because they have a balanced meal all of a sudden, right? A lot of people don't even know how to balance out a good vegan meal. And so of course I also work a lot of with like having a morning routine, meditation, right? All of my girls, I tell them meditate in the morning or in the evening. Find a routine that works for you, and to really calm you down. And only when you have that little stress management happening, when you meditate, you can tackle your other things. Otherwise you're gonna be on the go. Like I have so many girls that are so busy, have busy jobs, and they don't take care of their inner world. They only take care on the external world, like nutrition, fitness, work, right? But what's going on inside of you? And that's why, like, it's a very holistic approach. Does it answer your question?
Yes, it does. Yeah, I love that. Otherwise, you tackle the things that are outside and then you try to force them, but they're not really changing.
Exactly.
Because your inside world is not changing. Like, the way you react, the way you see things is not changing. So you get very, very frustrating when also these outside things are not changing.
Exactly. But you also, like, some girls are very open and share that with me. When you don't share that with me, it's very hard.
Yeah.
Because then I don't know how I can help you. So it's very, like I always tell them, be as transparent as possible. This is the only way I can help you. Because if you tell me, you know, I cannot work out because I have work to do, I'm like, no, you're finding excuses right now. And something's internally off because everyone has work. I have a mom, she works 8-day shifts of 12 hours sometimes in the hospital, and she has a 10-month-old baby, and she can do the workouts, and she can do the meal prep, and she can do meditation and journaling.
It's a thing of priorities.
Exactly. So we need to find out, okay, what is going on internally always. I know we talk a lot, but this was just
I love
fun.
it so much. Yeah, I love it so much. So maybe final words, where can people find you? What is your go-to method? Like, if you guys are interested in like joining her program.
Yes, of course. So I actually did just launch an 8-week program, which will be starting at the 26th of October. I think it was the 26th. Yes, it was the 26th of October. And it's an 8-week program. It's a kind of holiday sprint where all of the girls are going to start at the same time. And basically in the program, I'm really going to teach you how to work with your body instead of against it. It has been a game changer for me, and I really want to spread the word. So of course you're going to get, nutrition, a nutrition plan and training plan. You're going to get a lot of hormonal health coaching, and you're going to be surrounded by an amazing community of vegan ladies from all around the world. And this is the best thing ever, honestly. I'm so proud of this. And you're going to learn so much about yourself. Just really learn how to work with yourself. That's just so important, because we don't do that. We don't do that enough. So where you can find me is just go to my account. It's Jessica Carvad, and you can find me there. It's probably somewhere there that you posted as well. And then just send me a DM, or message me or apply. I do have the application form as well in my profile, and then we get talking just like you do. I get talking, we get on a call, and I get to know you, because I really love to get to know the girls that I want to work with. So
for sure. Oh, this is so nice, and it's so important. You're also, we also talked about that in your life, which we did right before. But it's so important to invest in your mindset and your inner work. We are always chasing stuff that we have, like a new camera, a new phone, no new laptop, whatever, where we're like, oh, I'm gonna spend it to get something. But we never really feel like we are able, or we should spend money on our inner thing, because what do we get in return? There's nothing that you can really grasp, but it's actually the most important thing that you can do for yourself. That is the most important
thing. I completely agree. Investing in yourself is one of the best things that you can do, and should always be a priority, because the external world, where you said the external things are only going to make you happy for a split second, but they will not cover what's going on internally inside of you. And that's it's a game changer.
It's a game changer. Yeah. Awesome. I love this one. Yeah, you're also going to be a guest on my coaching, in the group coaching session, so I'm really looking forward to that one. And
I have one girl asking about the Instagram, so it's it's Jessie. Can I type it in here?
Do it.
Let's see. Okay.
It's in the title also.
It should be, but I don't see the title. Okay, now everyone is seeing my face super close. That is funny.
What if you are not spending money for useless things and you don't have money to spend it on your mindset? There's always going to be a way. If you also cannot spend money on a coach right now, you can always go over on YouTube and look for that. Of course, it's not going to be super personalized, but that's a way to start. There's always ways. No
Yes.
excuses here.
Yes. I believe that as well. It's like I've had clients that really did not have a lot of money, but they made it work, and they said it was one of the best investments they could have made because it was a game changer for them. And if it's a priority for you, you will make it work. You will make it work. And also a lot of times you like the coach that you're gonna work with, they're open to help you with it as well. They're open to really help you find a plan.
Yeah.
And so don't be scared to ask. Like there's always possibilities. So yeah,
Definitely. Definitely. All right, thank you so much,
Thank
Jessica,
you as well.
for
It was
being
so much
here.
fun.
It was so
I always have so much fun doing these things with you.
Oh, me too. We're probably gonna get like some food right now.
Oh
right?
yes, starving.
Yeah, let me know if you want to have another live session or whatever session with Jessica. I would definitely love that. There's so many hearts, so yes, we're gonna do that. All right, guys, have a good night and see you soon. Lots of
Take
love
care,
to you.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.